You say you want power. You say you want presence. You say you want to feel like the kind of man who walks into a room and shifts the atmosphere. But then, in the most ordinary moment, you trade all of that for a 5-second escape. A scroll, a snack, a shot, a scroll again, a release, and it's gone. Just like that. No one saw it happen. But you did. And something inside you felt it. That quiet knowing that once again, you sold your power for a hit of pleasure. You see, the world isn't stealing your energy. You're trading it. Willingly, repeatedly, quietly. And the price keeps going up. But what exactly are you giving away? Your sexual energy. Yes. Your mental clarity. Yes. But more than that, you're selling your command, your ability to delay gratification, your ability to choose. You're selling your relationship with your future self, the one who could have been focused, respected, present, magnetic, for the brief relief of feeling good right now. And this right here is the invisible war that most men never realize they're losing. Because it doesn't feel like a war. It feels like comfort. It feels like I deserve this. It feels like just this once. It feels like everyone does it. But deep down, you know. Every time you give in to that moment of unconscious pleasure, you're giving up something else. Something harder to measure, but far more important. You're giving up weight. The weight of presence. The weight of gravity. The weight of someone who doesn't need to perform to earn respect, because he already radiates it. Now let's get something straight. Pleasure itself is not the enemy. Jung never taught that. In fact, Jung believed that our instincts, including sexuality, hunger, desire, aggression, are vital to a complete life. But he also taught that when we are ruled by these instincts, when we cannot hold them without acting them out, we become slaves to our unconscious. We become fragmented, hollow, weak. This is the difference between channeling power and leaking it, between being a man who is in possession of himself and one who is constantly possessed by impulse. Let's go deeper. Carl Jung described the libido as the reservoir of psychic energy, not just sexual, but creative, focused, intentional energy. He said that when this energy is directed toward unconscious gratification, it leads to repetition, compulsion, neurosis. But when it is held even painfully, it begins to build pressure. And that pressure, when consciously channeled, becomes force. It becomes vision. It becomes personal magnetism. So what does that mean for you? It means that every time you feel the urge to indulge, to numb out, to grab pleasure, to release tension without purpose, you're standing at a fork in the road. One path leads to a cycle you already know. Stimulate, indulge, regret, repeat. The other path, it leads through discomfort, but on the other side, it leads to momentum, confidence, power. But let's not speak in theory. Let's speak in reality. What are the actual moments where you sell your power? You're stressed, so you scroll. You're lonely, so you self-soothe with porn. You're uncertain, so you binge. You're bored, so you reach for sugar or your phone or another voice to fill the silence. But here's the truth. You need to sit with. These are not coping mechanisms. These are exits. Exits from the very parts of your life that would transform you if you stayed in the discomfort long enough to grow. And each exit takes a toll. Not just in how you feel afterward, but in who you believe you are. Because every time you give in, you reinforce a message: I can't hold this. I need to escape. Now contrast that with the moments when you don't give in. The moments when the urge arises and you breathe. You observe. You don't suppress. And you don't indulge. You contain. That containment, that is power. Because it tells your nervous system, we are safe. We are in command. We are not slaves to impulse. And over time, you begin to trust yourself again. You stop living at the mercy of cravings. You start making decisions from center, from clarity. So how do you stop selling your power? You start by identifying the moments you leak it. Here's a practice for you, a daily audit. Every night, write down, what was the hardest urge I had today? Did I give in or hold it? If I gave in, what triggered it? What emotion was I trying to avoid? What could I do differently next time? Don't skip this. The act of writing it down brings the unconscious into the light. And awareness is the beginning of authority. Next, replace reaction with ritual. If you always check your phone when you're anxious, replace it with breath. 5 slow breaths, eyes closed. Let the urge rise and fall. If you reach for porn when you feel unloved, write instead. Journal the ache. Feel it fully. Let it speak. It won't kill you, it'll free you. If you binge on snacks when you're bored, walk instead. Move your body, get sun, get uncomfortable. Show your brain that life exists beyond stimulation. And if none of that works, just sit. Sit with the discomfort. Breathe. Wait. Time your resistance. 1 minute, 2, 3, then decide. You'll start to notice something fascinating. The longer you sit with it, the less urgent it becomes. You realize it's not you that's desperate, it's just the pattern. This is what Jung meant when he said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Your compulsions are not fate. Your cravings are not truth. Your impulses are not destiny. They are programs, and you are the programmer. Now let me give you a vision. Imagine waking up and not needing to check your phone, not needing to distract yourself, not needing to run from your feelings. Imagine walking into your day with full attention, with a nervous system that's grounded, with a sexual energy that's not leaking, but humming alive, magnetic focused. Imagine having the power to say no to what cheapens you, not because it's wrong, but because it's beneath you. Imagine holding your fire and using it to build something real. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when you stop selling your power. You begin to radiate it instead. People feel it. You feel it. Your decisions change. Your body changes. Your eyes sharpen. Your voice deepens. Your presence expands. And suddenly the world starts responding to you differently. Not because you shouted louder, but because you leaked less. So here's the truth. You don't need more motivation. You need less escape. You don't need more goals. You need fewer leaks. You don't need to fix yourself. You just need to stop selling the version of you that could already lead, build love, protect, and rise. For the sugar high of false comfort. You already have the energy. You're just spending it in the wrong places. So stop, pause, audit, reclaim. What's the one area in your life where you know deep down you've been trading your energy for comfort? And what will you do this week to hold that energy instead? Drop your truth in the comments. Be real. Be specific. Say it out loud so your unconscious knows the game has changed. See you in video 7. And this time come with your power unspent.